have the minutes?
They were emailed. I don't have them with me.
Do you have any printed out minutes? Or?
No.
Here, I have mine. I printed it. The one from last. Yeah, that's the one. I have a copy of the receipt.
That's okay. Okay, good evening. We are going to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. Welcome to the June Bloomington Mac meeting. And we called to order, so we're now going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you for coming. Where are we? Right here.
I was over here. I used to be over there.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. I'm echoing just a little bit. Is it okay?
Yes.
Does it sound okay? Okay. Roll call of our MAC members.
Here?
Here? Here? Here? And they're all the other ones are off, right? Okay. So we do have a change to the minutes. The presentation of West Valley Logistics Project is postponed for now, or just canceled, taken off the,
We're changing the agenda. And yes, that's correct.
so we're changing the agenda. There will not be a West Valley Project Logistics Project presentation today. Is that being moved to another meeting?
It will be moved to another meeting.
Okay, so that will be moved to another meeting. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with our agency staff reports. Did you want to start with Supervisor Joe Baca's office?
Yes.
It's not on? It's on? Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Marlandra Johnson. I'm a field representative from Supervisor Joe Baca Jr.'s office, and we do have a couple of announcements from our office. So first, I'd like to share that our Animal Care Center is estimated to open summer of 2025, and we have some possible renderings to share. So we're looking forward to that. So summer of 2025. And then also every year a supervisor adopts a school within his district for our back to school backpack giveaway. This year we're partnering up with the Olive Branch, and the recipient school is Mary B. Lewis and their students. So the backpacks will consist of school supplies, shirts, socks, and a dental pack, toothbrush, toothpaste, floss, a little timer. And that is it for us. So we're looking forward to those two things coming in the near future.
Is there any way to fix the sound so that we can all hear without it sounding like Charlie Brown's teacher? Yeah, it was really difficult to hear at the podium, and I know my voice is kind of warbled. Oh, I think, is that a little bit better? A little bit better as we go on? Okay. Do we have a state legislative update?
Good afternoon. Michael Townsend. I represent State Assembly Majority Leader Eloise Gomez-Reyes. I think maybe if I talk a little softer, it won't be so muffled. Right, I'll talk nice and softly then. Last time I was here, I talked about some of the legislative bills that she's carrying, but today I want to focus on that are relatively urgent. One of them, a fun thing, she moved offices from downtown San Bernardino to Citizens Bank, Citizens Business Bank on the corner of Waterman and Vanderbilt Way. And we're inviting the public to come and see the new office. And that's on this Friday, like day after tomorrow, from 4 to 6 in the afternoon. And the public is invited, but I especially would like for y'all to come. And I have invitations for you, which I'll pass, and I'll leave a stack in the back of the room. You could take one and pass it down, please. The other thing is that annually the state legislature, it's a year, and there is one business selected from each assembly. And so I'm the point person for Majority Leader Reyes in terms of getting nominations for small businesses in her district. And we initially had a deadline of this Monday, but we have extended the deadline, and we would love to get your nominations. The criteria is any small business in her district. So the person doesn't have to reside in the district, but the business needs to be in the district, preferably both. And she has some latitude in that. So far, we've gotten quite a few good nominations. So a little spoiler alert, we'll have an event in the district for all of the nominated businesses. And in that event, we'll honor them, and then the final selected business will be announced. And then that final selected business will be given the opportunity to go to Sacramento to participate in a big event there with other businesses across the state. So I have flyers for that too. I would like for you to consider nominating a business. And I'm speaking to you, the board, but I'm also speaking to the public who's watching via internet and the video that's going to be produced, and Joe Baca's office. We'd like a nomination from you. And most of all from you in the public, because you know the businesses that are out there and you know the good ones from the bad ones. So if there's one that's special, it provides a service that you feel is worthy. Maybe their customer service and their business is excellent. Maybe it's just a new business and you feel like they should get a little bit of an advantage, a head start in competing in their industry. Please nominate them. And so I have a flyer for that, and I'll leave a stack at the back of the room. Today. As I always say, I work for you. You pay my salary through your tax dollars. You pay my salary through your tax dollars. Put me to work. I'm available. I'm your liaison to the member's office. My number is 909-381-4100. My name is Michael Townsend. And thank you so much.
And then, do we have CHP here? No. Code enforcement. Colton Joint Unified School District. County Fire. Sheriff's Department. All right, ding, 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 we gotcha. So you're not as busy as all the other departments, huh?
No, we are.
We'll
get into all that.
Just kidding. We really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody. It's very nice to see all of you. You too, Mr. Dave Jane. So it's, I don't know how much time we have. We don't want to take up people's time with the presentation and stuff. All right. It's, we're already in June and we've been extremely busy. Some of the top cases that we consider priority ones are mainly out of Bloomington. So we're going to get into specific, our computers are getting a little better and we're having a lot of, now with the weather warming up, we're getting into a lot of violent types of calls. We're going to get into domestic violence. That's rising. And we've seen some horrible, horrible things, but I don't want to scare or depress all of you. I want you to know that you guys are in good hands. If anybody ever hurts you, your family member, your children, your parents, we're going to handle it. All right. So that be a reassurance for you guys. I'm gonna have my partners, Deputy Barkley, Deputy Arroyo. They're gonna break down the types of calls, and then we're gonna give a couple of highlights on some cases that we've been working on. I think investigations and the type of work we do, which is a lot, and the ones that they're gonna talk about. These are ones out of Bloomington. We handle 5 other cities. So yeah, we're very busy, but we make time to come over here. We think talking to the community is very important. If we don't have the support from the community, we don't have it. And we learned that. So we appreciate all you guys, right? Good to see you guys. I'm gonna introduce Deputy Barkley. He'll talk about the stats.
Members of the board. In the month of May, we accumulated approximately 747 calls for service, approximately 24 domestic violence calls, 2 assault with a deadly weapons, 1 attempt murder, and 1 armed robbery. We're going to go over that we've worked and the conclusions that we've had with them. For service reference a grand theft auto. Police arrived on scene, they located the vehicle, and began to canvass the area. Within approximately 20 minutes, the suspect, matching the description in the call, was located and taken into custody without incident. A full confession. And that suspect is now behind bars. The vehicle was returned to the correct owner. One of the other calls for service was the attempt murder. In that situation, the suspect arrived at the victim's significant other's residence early in the morning. The victim exited the residence on the way to leave to go about the day. During that time, an altercation occurred. The suspect stabbed the victim approximately 7 times. The victim was immediately rushed to the hospital. Deputies arrived on scene where it gained a positive identification of the suspect. Procedures were done. 48 hours, the suspect decided to turn himself in, and that suspect is not okay. And court proceedings to follow. My partner deputy I handled as well as done today. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. Today I'm going to be talking about a domestic violence call for service. It's probably one of the main calls that we have this previous month. I'm going to be more detailed in this case, so you comments and why you guys should report it if you see it, hear it, or know about it. So on June 1st, 2023, approximately 8:30 hours, we received a call on Cedar at the Pilot gas station regarding a male subject trying to drag a female inside of his vehicle. Lucky for us, the clerk called 911. He required an ears. While arriving to scene, suspect got in his vehicle, roamed the area while the female was able to escape and ask for help. While we responded, the subject was gone. Through thorough investigation from the deputies, we got a good interview, video surveillance, which led us to identification of the suspect vehicle. A thorough investigation worked with the detectives and patrol. We were able to locate that vehicle later that day. We located that vehicle later that day with the suspect in it. He led us in a short vehicle pursuit, which was ultimately terminated due to public safety concerns. And he should be apprehended soon enough. I want you guys, domestic violence, there's a lot of resources within the county. It's very important that you guys call it in. If you guys see it, hear it, know about it. If it's your neighbor screaming, doesn't matter what it is, we won't hesitate to show up and address the issue. And if crime has been committed, we will take them to jail. And other news, we also, I don't know if anybody saw anybody running on Foothill Avenue this morning. A lot of individuals wearing blue shirts. Yeah. So that was local law enforcement agencies, Rialto Police Department, Fontana Unified School Police, Fontana Police Department, Fontana Sheriff's Station, Rancho Cucamonga. We participated in the Special Olympics, just raise awareness, and that's one of the things that we actually did as far as community events. Other than that, this concludes our meeting as far from the Sheriff's Department's behalf. Any questions, comments, concerns? It was a dark box-like Scion TC. Okay.
And almost the circumstances were the same. He was just trying to drag her to the car, she ended up getting in the car, and then he was on foot. That was like
Yeah. Some of the things that, we recommend maybe, because sometimes when we're responding to these calls for service, we only get a basic color, make, and then point of direction. But other than that, we never get any license plate, any descriptions of the individuals involved, and all the information you could possibly get. Please gather it, relay dispatch, investigations. Thank you, guys.
So you see these guys, the type of uniform, they're wearing black, green shirt. In the front, it says SMASH. So that's San Bernardino Movement Against Street Hoodlums. So San Bernardino Movement Against Street Hoodlums, SMASH. That's the street hoodlums. That's how, back in the day, they had the gang units crash and all that in LA. Theirs got disbanded because they got into too many problems. We do things right, so ours is still good. And am I good or am I cutting you guys off? Okay, all right. What we normally do, these are, they have sheriff's patches on the side. Whenever we have big problems with gang members in a high crime area, especially now with narcotics and these ghost guns and all that, we'll put together a program and invite PDs from everywhere. So they'll be wearing the same type of uniform, black pants, green shirt, and it'll say SMASH, but it'll have their PD patches. Does that make sense? So when we concentrate on an area, there'll be so many cops and these gang members that it'll stop them. Here in Bloomington, we've been keeping track of these problem houses, and the main ones that were victimizing innocent people, they're doing a lot of time right now. So right now we're good, but we got to focus on these youngsters that are coming out in even as young as junior high, getting into problems with crowds, the wrong crowd, gangs, drugs, guns, stuff like that. So we got to stay up on them. These guys got selected because they have a lot of experience and they're good with the community. We're not just out there chasing criminals all the time. We do when we can, but doing events like this with the community, like the event this morning with the Special Olympics torch run. Yeah, we got up early, ran from Fontana all the way to Rancho Cucamonga, 30 deep. 30 deputies came in and ran it. Some of them were on their day off, but it's important. We taught a class here for the little Girl Scouts not too long ago, and you talked to them about stranger danger and stuff like that. So if you guys have anything that you need more information on, we'll find somebody that'll give you guys a 20, 30-minute presentation, and it'll benefit you guys. All right. So thank you guys very much.
We have a quick question.
Sergeant Reese, so we're coming into fireworks season. Can you talk a little bit about what the sheriff's department has planned to deal with illegal fireworks?
That's a good question. So the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, we formulated a lot of tactics that we learned from the riots and all that, from controlling crowds to doing evacuations and controlling areas. One of the things that we got pretty good at was emergency fires and stuff like that. Are part of that crew. So every probably 2 to 3 months, we train at the Sheriff's Academy. We train with the fire department. They give us classes. They teach our fires, the winds, temperatures, you name it, and we learn about it. So we have a training coming up next Thursday, and it's an all-day thing. We talk about current events, danger zones, which is pretty much everywhere, and then we talk to high-ranking members from the fire departments and come up with a game plan. So if for some reason we got to get somewhere and protect properties and evacuate people, we're kind of used to it now. So yeah, with that's something that's very, very important. We've done a couple out here in Bloomington. The last ones that I can remember was probably at the borderline of Riverside, when one of the businesses caught on fire. It was a couple of years ago, but it was right next to a propane tank business, so that wasn't good. Luckily, we were able to put it out, and it went well. But yeah, we have a lot of training and stuff coming up. Good. Any other questions, anybody? Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we. Mm-hmm. That's correct. We've had cases like that where they have where they get it from, but yeah, they do exist. We work in a lot of areas. All the cities are facing the same type of a problem where they'll either bust a lock or they'll have a master key. So we're in contact. We have contacts with the postal inspectors. We have cases. As a matter of fact, we were helping some of our partners serve a search warrant in Fontana, that they were stealing mail and opening up accounts and stuff like that. So yeah, what I would recommend is check up on your credit. If you live somewhere where they're doing that, then what we do is we focus on any type of video, witness statements, vehicles. But that type of stuff happens usually very early in the morning hours. Right. Yeah, and most of the time it is the same type of crew, and they won't stop until they get caught. And we caught a bad rap of us, doing proactive traffic stops, and people saying, "Hey, you guys are just harassing people driving around." We're not. We know what we're looking for. So if there's something like that in Bloomington, we'll get to it. We've arrested a bunch of people doing that when people call us. Sometimes it's hard because we get the calls a day after, a week after, and by that time it gets a little harder. But yeah, that is correct. Any other questions? Yes. Roxanne, Miss Roxanne. Mhm. Yeah, every year, it's a big issue. We focus in the high fire danger areas, Mount Baldy, Lytle Creek, but yeah, even in the neighborhoods, and they do it all night. So we're aware of it. We do a lot of proactive patrols when we see them doing it in the middle of the street. Believe me, we get out there and we detain them and figure out where they're getting them from. We go through the house and take all of them. We usually work with the fire department because their fines have more bite. Their fines are like $1,000, $2,000 fines for the county. A ticket, they go to court, the DAs dismiss it, and that's why they keep doing it. So that's another issue. We're having problems with the DAs wanting to file cases against them, and then people get mad at us. They're like, "Hey, we always call," and they're back out there doing it again. But yeah, we're going to be working with the fire department for that type of stuff. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be depending on the funds that we have, but obviously we have funds, and we'll put out some overtime spots to do proactive patrols for parties, and usually for the 4th of July, New Year's, it gets pretty bad. So, all right. Anybody else?
Question.
We got, in my neighborhood, we have a couple of our residents here, and we have in the abandoned truck yard that the county code got rid of, there's people living there, and they're literally setting fires at night to, I don't know, trash or whatever have you. Is that something, is that a sheriff's department thing? I believe one of our neighbors one night called the fire department, literally. Would that be a sheriff's thing, or hopefully, or it goes to code enforcement, even though it's happening at night?
Well, if it's a structure fire, call it in. Call 911. Say there's a fire. It looks like a business. We'll go out there. We'll probably be the first ones there.
I don't know if those people have the permission of the landowner, or they're just squatting on the property, or there's a lot of tires and debris and junk, and there's junk cars there that were most likely probably stolen cars at one point. They're all stripped out.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in this property, and I don't know, if any of it falls to you guys or it's all code enforcement issues. But when they're setting fires at night, my wife and I know other people in the neighborhood are getting kind of concerned that something's going to get out of control. It looks like more like they're warming themselves because they're living there.
Mhm.
It's not a fire like out of control fire. It's a controlled fire, but it's not a small fire either. It's fairly
Right.
good sized.
Yeah. If you,
Yeah, yeah. And Evelyn's one of the people who lives in our neighborhood.
Yeah, I remember the day the lady got stabbed, there was a stabbing, and you guys cleared that case. Now, if you guys see any type of a fire, whether it's a vehicle fire, a structure fire, 911.
Yeah, people are burning something. You just need to call 911 because there's a burn ban right now. So you can't burn anything unless you have a permit. So call 911.
Yeah, 911 will get there, and depending on the time of the day, we've gone to some where if it's a electrical fire and it's windy, they jump super quick. So once we make sure nobody's hurt, and then we'll slow it down, figure out who the property belongs to, what the cause of the fire was. A lot of these homeless are stripping copper wires, and they burn the coating on it. So we have a good relationship with code enforcement. Memo, he's one of them, and so is Moises. They're not here today. They're super busy, but we have a really good relationship with them, and they have the capability of checking their computer systems, and they'll let us know who the owner of the property is, and they'll start finding the owner if they don't secure the property or board up the house or whatever. So yeah, we'll get to the bottom of it. Sometimes it takes time. On the separate note, okay, it's on the same topic. There's what happened to all the warehouse people? No more. I'm just wondering. I've been in contact with the one of the developers that's going to be leveling all those houses that were purchased. So we, depending on their agenda, we don't want to leave houses empty because they will get filled in. They'll start coming in. Well, we're on it. Okay, we're on it. But once we figure out what their plan is, and that's not something we can control. If it's done, it's done. We don't want houses to get filled up with transients from Riverside or from Victorville or wherever they pop up, and we'll work with them. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions? No? Good.
So much great
We
information.
care about this community, all right? We care. I wish we had more time to spend. We're very busy doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we appreciate it. Thank you. Do we have a presentation by special districts? Special districts? Okay. How about West Valley Water District? I know he just got up for a minute.
Yeah, well, good evening, MAC members, everyone. I don't really have this time, except for just one thing, that we have a new general manager who's starting with our agency starting next week. Mr. John Thiel comes to us from South Tahoe Utilities District, so we're all really excited to have a new GM coming on board. Other than that, I'm just happy to answer any questions or any concerns anyone has. And just please conserve water. Even though we did get a lot of rain this year, we can always preserve it. So
At the May meeting, because I wasn't here, but how did your Earth Day event go?
it went of the district event to really learn about all the aspects that are involved in providing you water service. I mean, you go and you turn on the faucet and then water comes out, but you don't realize how much goes into making sure that that water's there. So for me, I think the best part has always been the educational value, not only for the kids, but also for all the adults to get to interact with our wonderful staff. So we had a really great event. So thank you for bringing that up. We had a great turnout. Wish we could have had more, but really that was about twice what we had the first time we did it. So I think we did pretty good. in and out is always a good draw too. So that kind of helped, I think. But yeah, it was a great event. A little warm, but not too bad. It could have been worse. So yeah, but everything's going well. But just here to answer any questions or any concerns anyone has.
Thank you so much. We appreciate
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
And do we have any other agency reports today? No, we're good. Okay. Next, we'll go to our informational presentation. Do we have Union Pacific? Oh, are you Lupa Valdez?
No, I'm actually, hi, how are you, Madam Chair, MAC members? Josh Candelaria, I'm a consultant with Union Pacific. And just want to say, first thing, three things I'm really privileged to be here. And one in particular is I know how important Bloomington is to the supervisor, to the staff, and to the county. And it's really indicative of the investments you see. Two, I used to work for the county for 15 years. And so I got a chance to really help facilitate the transfer of Ayala Park, which took legislation to the new location. It was actually a grant that the county took. We needed to have legislation to move it over here. Got a chance to advocate for funding for affordable housing. And three,
Did those any other agency reports? 'Cause I
Yeah.
knew you were a county employee.
yes, yeah, so for 15 years. And so transition now. And three, I used to be a resident of Bloomington, quite frankly. I grew up in Sierra Crossing across the way when it was a different place. Another thing. So while that was a tough part of my life, it really taught me empathy and the value of hard work. Full circle. And so that's why I say it is a privilege to be here this evening. Just on behalf of Union Pacific, I'm here to give a limited presentation about a security wall. Our hope, if appropriate, is to come back and have a general update. I know many of you serve and volunteer. I know Gary, you're on the Planning Commission of Colton. So we just appreciate the partnership. And so Union Pacific is looking at just building a security wall off of the slower and large property for two reasons there. One, to mitigate the impacts of illegal dumping. There's some challenges there. And then two, just to address trespassing. And so it's the property just adjacent to Bloomington Junior High. If you can go to the next slide, it kind of shows you the location. They're off of Slover and Larch. I know many of you are probably familiar with the area. The next slide will kind of articulate just the time frame. Our hope is to begin construction late summer, early fall. We wanted to be proactive and just to come out to make sure the MAC members and the community are aware of it. We really want to have a good partnership, and we really do enjoy. Really feel that the Union Pacific is kind of weaved into the culture of the area. Specifically look. And so we wanted to be very conscious about the aesthetic. That's why you have kind of a thin wall. That would kind of address issues like graffiti concerns. And just, there's a small security purposes. And just to kind of give you an idea about the length, it's going to be an L-shaped. And from large linear feet will just be 583 feet. And then in front, so it's just a wall for security purposes with those two particular reasons, security in mind, as well as to address issues of illegal dumping. But if appropriate, we do look forward to coming back in fall and maybe just associated with Union Pacific. Happy to take any questions and just thank you so much for your time.
Josh, good to see you,
So,
but I'm disappointed that Loopy's not here
Had a conflict out
because
definitely.
there's something potentially far greater going on that we've heard a lot of rumblings about, but nobody, it seemed to be a big, deep, dark secret. Is Union Pacific putting an intermodal facility in Bloomington? And if so, what's the details on that? Because it's going to be a huge impact to this community. And I've heard rumblings that it's happening and nobody's said a word to us, and we need to know.
Yeah, and Gary, I was at the Colton Planning Commission just a few weeks ago just to listen to the conversation. So we look forward, and Luby does extend her regrets. She wasn't able to be here. She had a conflict. But we look forward to having a broader conversation just about Union Pacific's activities in general. Like I said, we really feel that Union Pacific is in, and we just appreciate the partnership. With respect to the facility. Yeah, I know when I was at the Colton Planning Commission, there was questions with respect to, I think, the high-speed rail, I think kind of that going specifically on confusion.
That's a different project. That's BNSF at Cal Portland. I am talking about specifically your rail yard in Bloomington. And now we're putting a sound wall up. Is this a precursor?
No, sir.
To Union Pacific having a separate intermodal facility that's going to go all the way, from what I hear, all the way to
Yeah.
Sierra, all the way to Riverside Avenue, that's going to impact this community. That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that intent of that, Gary, is to mitigate trespassing, illegal dumping. If anything, there's not really an intent what that will be. If it might be for storing just various equipment, but there's no intent with respect to that property. That's kind of what the whole purpose is. And that's why we wanted to come, because anytime I think an organization like Union Pacific builds something, we want to make sure that, we get in front to be able to talk to the community, articulate what's going on. So, but we do look forward to coming back in fall if appropriate and working with the supervisor's office. Great. Yeah.
That question will probably be asked again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So someone can come prepared that may have that question,
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
that information.
Question?
Oh, the wall's going to be 10 feet. That's a good question. Thank you.
Stephanie?
What made you guys decide on that specific location?
The Union Pacific owns the parcel there, and if you drive by, it's vacant, and so it really is, because Union Pacific is the leaseholder, because it's in their name, if anyone was to put, and this has happened in the past, illegal dumping, they're actually held liable. So I think they've actually been fined, which is, understandable with respect to having property there. But as being the property owner, I think that's why the intent is to put the wall up to address any, mitigate those impacts. Great, thank you so much.
Next, we have minutes. Does somebody have a motion to approve the minutes? Okay, Angela, motion to approve minutes. Who seconds? Oh, Teresa. I'm sorry. I wasn't here, so I can't vote on that. And Stephanie wasn't here as well. So do we have a motion to approve the minutes? I'm sorry. Are the minutes approved? I'm so sorry about that. Okay. And do we have any public comment cards? No public comment cards? Okay. All public comment is closed. Discussion, do we have any old business? Any new business? Okay. Gary has something? Go for it.
So on Friday, I received an email from county planning. And unfortunately, I've just been too busy to go through it. I wish I would have had time to print it. But the countywide planning is in the process of adding an environmental justice element to their planning document, to the countywide planning document. And that's going to be heard at the Planning Commission on June 22nd, 2023. And unfortunately, I wish I could have moved faster, because maybe we could have had an agendized presentation or something. But if you want to go online, and I can actually send the members the link that I received. If you want to go online and look at it, give your input. They also, I was told that they're trying to talk to all the stakeholders regarding this issue, including the environmental justice community. They've also received information. So, I wish I could tell you guys more, but it was just short notice for me, and I wasn't able to bring it all here. So I apologize for that. But
Sure, that'd be great, but go ahead and send it to Supervisor Baca's office and they could disperse it to us individually. That'd be great.
yeah. And Sonia, you may have, I don't know, you may have that, or, I mean, the office is probably aware of it. And it's a county. Yeah. So I know, I was told that they're going to hear the item at the Planning Commission on June 22nd. So a little time to give input still. Thank you.
Okay, I think old and new business is over. Oh, you know what? For new business, I do want to ask, in July 5th is the next meeting, and that's a Wednesday, the day after the 4th. Do we all want to join in to our meeting, or do we want to go dark in July? Is that something that you guys want to consider, talk about? Because we have to decide tonight.
Due to tournaments, I won't be available. If
So what do you guys think? I mean, in the past, we had typically gone dark July and December, or July and January. I mean, we hadn't done that for a couple of years. Was it August? But we meet on Wednesdays and National Night Out's on Tuesdays. Yeah. Or, okay, so one of the summer months. So we hadn't done that the last couple of years because we've had so many things going on with the meetings. So no. So does anybody want to pass a motion to do that, to go dark in July, or do we want to stay July? That's okay. I just want to remind you guys that the 5th is, the day after the 4th is a Wednesday. And so I don't know if people are going to be going out of town or things going on. So do you want to make a motion? So, Gary?
Before we decide on this, Sonia, is there anything coming from the supervisor's office that's of importance that can't wait till August? Is there anything, presentations or whatever have you that are? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Angela made a motion to go dark in July. Anybody second that? If second. Teresa seconds. Do we have approval to go dark in July? Yeah? Okay, so we are going to go dark in July. So we will not have a July meeting. So our next meeting will be in August. So the first Wednesday in August will be August 2nd. So August 2nd will be our next Bloomington Mac meeting at 6 p.m. Okay, thank you, guys. Community events. Stephanie.
Bloomington Branch Library will have a summer reading program. Starts Monday, June 5th through Sunday, July 30th. I do have a little flyer if anybody wants their kids to join. They have different programs, craft stations, and just helps keep the kids reading during the summer months. So if you're interested, come see me after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. I'm always excited about library events. Do we have any other community events that we want to address? No, okay. Oh, Teresa.
Starting next Saturday, Bloomington Little League will be hosting all-star tournaments at our park. We will have our brackets up as soon as we get them, possibly Monday. Right now, we just have like a tentative schedule. Our Bloomington was awarded their first state tournament, so we're pretty excited. That starts July 6th at Kessler Park, so we hope you guys can make it down to some tournaments, see some baseball, eat some of our food, support our snack bar because that supports our children. Also on the flip side of baseball, for those of you who aren't aware, our varsity baseball team made it to the CIF playoff championships. Unfortunately, the game 3, I believe it was game 2 or game 3. It was the game right before the actual elimination. Semifinals, yeah, the semifinals. They were eliminated 2-0, but they did an outstanding job the whole entire season. And if you didn't see them, you missed out on some great ball because they are very talented. So I just wanted to make you guys aware of, the records that they've broke, the hard work that those children and the coaches put in. If you have a business or maybe you have a little spare change, the booster clubs at the high school for baseball and softball are always looking for support. They have a lot of things that are on their wish list and can use your help. So, we just like to kind of let you guys know what's going on with them because unfortunately we don't have somebody that speaks on their behalf here. So congratulations to them. They were league champs after 40 years, and I think that's a big accomplishment.
So no more community events. We'll go ahead and go to our MAC member reports. We'll just start at the top with Teresa. Oh, do we have another community event?
Yeah.
Okay, one more.
So the Olive Branch is giving lunches for children for with Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 o'clock until all the meals are given out. So That's something, and children must be present, yes. So that's something we started just to kind of help out the families and whatnot. So also, yes,
Can the children go by themselves?
yes, yes.
But
It's
a
grab
parent-
and go, but you don't sit there and eat, just grab and go.
But the parent cannot go by themselves. The child has to be
The
there.
child has to be there. So if the child comes by themselves, that's fine, but the parent can't come without the child. And they do not have to be a Bloomington resident. So, okay. And then I want to mention Saturday, we did normally we do the end of summer bash at the end of summer, but we decided to do it on Saturday, and it was a blast. So we had water slides. We had it here at Ayala Park. We had water slides, and we had water slime. And yeah, there's videos popped up at different places for me and Quita and getting slimed out with kids. It was a total blast. I don't know who liked it more, was us or the kids, but it was a total blast. And yeah, so the kids, and we even had some of the kids ask when we're going to do it again. I said, it's probably next year. And he's like, oh, you know. So I said, well, if it gets requested enough, then we'll go ahead and do another one at the end of summer. He goes, oh, they're going to request it, you know. So yeah, I think we're going to have another one because the kids really enjoyed it. And the parents even got involved. So there was a lot of parents, you know, also doing the, you know, super soakers with their kids. And we had dads out there. So it was really fun. It was a blast. And then we gave them pizza. We ordered pizzas and they had pizza on that day too. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, and I think that's it. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to start with our MAC member reports. Start with Teresa, and we'll just go each of us all the way down. MAC report.
Really have anything to say. Just thank you guys for coming. We appreciate the ones that take the time month after month to be here. You know, I know sometimes things don't change, but you know, we do appreciate you taking the time. It's important, and we ask that you guys spread the word, help us grow, help more people be here continuously, not just when there's some controversial items on the agenda, because we like to hear what you guys have to say. You know, it's important. I know I speak for myself, but also for them, that we do really appreciate the public comments because it helps us hear things that are happening in our community. We don't hear everything, like, you know, you hear things from the sheriff's department and you don't realize, like, wow, that's happening here, you know? So it's always good to know what's going on your street or around your corner, or whatever the case may be. So keep bringing that information. We appreciate it.
I agree. Thank you for everyone coming. I can't add to what Teresa just said, so I totally agree with everything she said. So thank you to the Sheriff's Department and Sergeant Reese. Remember, it's always the first Wednesday of the month. Okay? Okay, so that's it. Except for July. Except for July. Don't come because we won't be here.
So Teresa stole exactly what I was going to say. Thank you to our community members who live and or work here, who are dedicated every month. We really appreciate you guys being here, having your voices heard. I love and miss the community interaction that we had tonight. I love that. That means a lot to me, and I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. We appreciate y'all, even you, Dave James. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have 5 families that have been kicked out of house only in a parking complex in houses. It's got a drug problem. Okay? In our housing department, the family of San Bernardino is on helping these poor girls who've got 2 and 3 kids. They're living in the car. Okay? And they're right here in our hometown. And it kind of makes me upset because our housing and our what they call non-protected services don't help. They give to them, oh, we got that. So they're all here. We need to do something, guys. In our community, we need to do something. And we probably got more than I know of 5.
Angela wants to address that.
So there are programs out there for them. We had a family that was at the water, you know, at our water event over the weekend, and the mother acknowledged to me that they were living in their vehicle. And so I contacted Joe, and he got him in contact with the Hope team, which helped them with the voucher, which will help them get sustainable housing. Okay, so there are options out there. A friend of mine also does that. She can, tell them what they need to do when they go to the welfare department and talk with them and stuff, and then they'll help them get in housing. So there are resources out there. They just don't know about the resources. So. Mhm.
So Hope Team, contact the Hope Team.
They don't have houses.
No,
They
no,
have no place to put them.
there is no place to put them, but they do have vouchers that'll help house them. And then there's resources to get into low-income housing.
I mean, they're all got welfare, they're getting stamps.
Right.
They're living with stamps.
Right.
What is our welfare department helping? You know, we got guys living, I'm sorry. I don't
Yeah.
know what that is.
Yeah.
Because their parents are living out of town, and they're calling me what their daughters can do.
Right. And the thing about the welfare system, they do have these resources, but you have to know what the resources are. So a friend,
Have a guy come here and pray, every week,
uh-huh.
and tell them what to do.
Because a friend of mine that does that, she goes out and she'll help, like even the homeless when she goes out there, and she does tell them what's needed. I've referred a few people to her she's spoken with them and told them this is what you say and da da da, and then they have gotten the help that they need.
Angela,
So it's there. You just have to ask.
I actually do because I work for the welfare department. I have the information and I would like to give you that
See?
information. And if you give me their information, I'll get them in contact with the exact people they need to.
So Dave,
to.
meet up with Stephanie right after the meeting. She'll help walk you through the information because she works for that department and she'll help you out. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing that out. And then also, I know we've asked this before, but let's go ahead and make it happen. The next meeting is going to be in August. And on the back of the agenda, we want all county resources. I'll give your office a copy again of all the resources that we need with phone numbers and contact names. So we can have that. So all of us here can have that information. You guys know what it is. So we'll make that happen. We have 8 weeks, so we'll make it happen. So we can have that information continually. Thank you. I think I was done with my report. Gary.
Chair, not much for me tonight. I want to give you a little clarity on one item we didn't hear tonight, which is West Valley Logistics. And I don't want to steal the thunder from the presentation, but when I saw this, I go, oh, is this a new warehouse project? And it's actually what it is. It's the West Valley project that the county of San Bernardino sued Fontana on. This is not in Bloomington, it's in Fontana. And out of that settlement, that is what's paying for an extra sheriff's deputy for this community right now. It's $1 million plus a year for 20 years, and an agreement to join a future facilities district in Bloomington to tax them. And as part of that agreement, the settlement allowed for a large section of money for infrastructure improvements in Bloomington because they're going to bring their traffic through Bloomington. So was the basis of the lawsuit. And when I did some checking into this, what I found out is what they want to do is they want to come and see us and get our input on the infrastructure improvements that they would like to do and what they think we need. Sonia, I hope I'm not going over. Okay. And because it's going to be impactful, and it's going to certainly, and it's going to impact your street for sure. And I've had conversations actually with those developers in the past about finding alternative routes out through the number streets or south of the number streets. And, I hope when they come, we can address that with them. It's going to be a little rough on Europa. And so but they want to come and talk to us. That was the basis of the conversation I had, because I'm looking at this and I'm going, oh, is this going to be another warehouse project somewhere that they're bringing for our, advice or whatever? But that's not what it is. It's already a project. It's been approved. The county had a lawsuit. It's been settled. The Environmental Justice Community sued. They got settled. Colton Joint Unified sued, and it's been settled. So the project, I believe, is probably ready to move forward here fairly soon. So so they want to get basically, I guess, a buy-in from us or advice, input on what they're doing now. It's going to impact our community. So that's kind of just to give you guys a precursor on what that really is all about. That's what's going to happen. So thank you. And thanks to the residents for coming out as always. Thank you. Thank you guys. And I agree with Diane. We need to hear from you because like Dave Jane, this is how problems get solved. You bring them up, we talk to people, we get, either staff or us, we have connections and we try to make things happen for people. So, though if we don't know about it, we can't help. So appreciate the input from everybody. Thank you.
Gary. Anna? Same as everybody else, but I just want to say thank you. And in regards to the West Valley project, I'm well aware of it because I will be one of the people speaking out to my neighbors because it does affect me as well. It's on my street. And I'm not part of the project, but I'm part of the community outreach on that project. So I don't know a lot about it yet, but I'm sure we'll have more information. But thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Stephanie?
Foremost, thank you everyone for showing up. One of the things that I wanted to bring up is for those of you with Medi-Cal, to be aware of anyone calling you in regards to try and get information. The county themselves will reach out to you when it's time to recertify for your Medi-Cal. So if someone is trying to get information, that's how we're finally realizing they're just trying to scam you. Another thing is big on even on your ATMs because we're seeing a lot of scamming going on. Change your PIN numbers constantly. Also on your online accounts, anything that you create with security questions, it's always recommended to answer with fake answers. So that way no one can go on your profile and fish for like, oh, this is their dog's name or things of that nature. Just some security advice for all of you. But thank you all for coming. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful and safe 4th of July, and I hope to see you all in August. Thank you.
Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Angela motion. Teresa second. All in favor? Meeting adjourned at 7:05 p.m. Thank you, and I'm going to use my gavel.